we arrive in the Principality of Montario's beautiful city of faith, Altaberry Heights. And finally, our heroes make their well-deserved return home to Grand Trad. But first, let's do introductions. It's time to meet those risking their lives for the crown. Closest to the throne, I know him.
I enjoy it.
You know him. It's Sanctism's one and only 78th Sanctifex, His Eminence, Forden!
King of all.
Victory to Sanctifex Forden!
Oh.
I claim no great ambition, nor any heated calls to action.
No, Nana.
All I wish is to restore order for our people and to safeguard our land from the threats beyond. This chaos we face is but one of God's many trials. Let us restore our kingdom's glory together!
Together.
Moving right along, we come next to His Eminence's champion, the very spear in his hand, the warrior monk captain of the Crown Theocracy, Master Giddo!
I come before you only in loyal service of His Eminence. I relinquish the throne to him gladly. But those who would seize the crown by force, I will teach you to fear God and to fear me!
Fear me!
So much for this being a fair competition. How many horses do the Sanctis have in this race? Still, it's not over by far. The Luis supporters won't take this lying down.
What cowardice, crier! Where's Count Louise?
Right, all right, settle down. At this time, I can report that Count Luis has not applied to enter the tournament.
What? He's not even entering?
It's funny,
Then
Jade.
what becomes of us? Our entire purpose in this race was to get closer to him.
Don't worry. He's definitely paying attention. He's only in second as it is, so we can't afford to ignore this whole production. Sit tight. I'm sure he'll make a move soon.
All right, all right. For those Count Luis supporters, you might want to meet our next entrant. A rising socialite, a man of ambition, godless and fearless, the brash young warrior serving Count Luis, Gladel, the Black Hound.
Oh, he's a bad guy.
So he was one of Luis's men.
The fallen king embraced Sanctism and all its holy tenets, and for what? He was nothing before Lord Luis. Look to the sky all you wish. No god can save you! What our country
I love his
needs
style, man.
is power!
Well, it's not quite all the contenders, but let's get on with the introductions. The great liberal merchant, it's Roger Ward. By war, by conquest, by right, it's Rudolph Krauss. In it more for the gauntlet runners than the throne, it's Lena Caden. Sure to be popular by pledging free drinks for life, it's Loveless O'Shea.
It's like a hippie.
Uplifting the beautiful and deposing the hideous, it's Milo Maurizio.
Milo Maurizio.
If we lose this, I think the country has some even bigger problems.
Now, I do believe we have one final candidate. Do we have an Elden boy present? Come on, let's see a face.
What? An elder? Disgraceful. Is this the only way you could think to distinguish yourself?
Why? I read that, Nana, and all I could think of was a sex
By the way,
swing.
the ride you applied with still hasn't arrived. And if it doesn't show up by the time the noon bell rings, you're disqualified. All right?
Hey! What's going on?
That nitwit! What is he doing?
Oh, I'm completely worse than you, Nana.
So, contestants, are you ready?
What?
I know what you said.
Wait! Found you, behave!
A land runner? It's quick!
Wait, it's headed right for the...
It'll crash!
Whoa!
I guess that's gonna be our ride.
What the heck is that?
Wonderful. So much for a first impression.
What hell? Isn't he a marvel, chums?
You don't! You nearly brought down the cathedral! Have a care, you buffoon. 'Twas bad enough when Luis did it the first time. That feckless, shameless old fool.
Not bad, kid. Guess you've got some interesting tricks up your sleeve after all.
Right! I'd call that a full roster. Ladies and gentlemen, race across the land.
Very true, Nana.
Go! Prove yourself worthy and earn your crown. For the people, for the throne. Let the games begin.
We must take to the road.
Yeah, she was, Jade.
Come on! So fast! Gotta hold on to something or I'll get blown up!
It's incredible!
That's all you need, Jade. I mean, Nana, is ideas. My support is changing. I ended up standing out more than I expected. I've gained a lot of interest, but I only considered this a part of my mission to aid the prince.
Just a sec.
Whoa, what's with this thing? Is this our carriage?
Can you hear me?
Shall I just run her along the main road then? The others seem to be doing as much.
Uh,
You're just as crazy as this runner. I'll take the compliment, little lady. Now let's have some coordinates for the little test run. What is happening right now?
let's see.
We're gonna go to a place called Martira, Old Castle Town, I think. Maybe we should be a ways south. Aww. Lemmy cuddles.
Wow!
Yeah, okay. Martira, here it is. Down to Martira, eh? Oh, this craft's legs. Oh, I'd say that'll be 4 days, 3 nights about.
Oh.
4 days and 3 nights, that's a great deal faster than a carriage. And surely the roads will be safer at this kind of speed.
Spectacular.
Bolly boy, now cinch those britches, chaps. Full steam ahead to Martira, Old Castletown. Really good ideas. I mean, that's the best kind of ideas.
This is amazing! I don't know a thing about gauntlet runners, but even I can tell this is a hell of a craft. I can hardly believe she's ours to drive.
I love you, Nana.
You're telling me that? Feels like ages since I've been out on the open road.
Oh, of course I would, Jade.
Girl's been waiting long enough for her time to shine.
So this is what you used to talk with the driver? Convenient, that. Look, old fellow, are you really on our side? You realize we don't have funds to pay you.
Money? Ha! I'm not in this for the money, boy.
Zelda's a sweetheart.
What I want is a little gusto. What do you think, lad? Isn't this a rush?
It is at that. Like riding the wind.
That's the ticket. It's been so long since I've had a good chinwag.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
You've a good head on your shoulders, boy. Yes, I can tell you're a sharp one. Where to, ladies? The world is our shellfish.
You certainly are a different person behind the wheel.
Hey, Hulkenberg! Can we get an explanation yet?
That man is Neurus. An Ishkia, if 'twas not obvious from the wings. And despite everything, He was heir to a noble house and personal machinist for the royal family.
What?
He's a master engineer, of course, positively peerless. But as you can see, the runners get him a bit excitable.
Aw, poor little guy.
Nioras? Are you there? I'm coming in. Even amidst all this commotion in town, I find you buried in your work.
Too much to do.
As always. To business, then. I must ask a favor. Would you be able to ready a carriage for me?
No new commissions. No time for them. Ask another right.
It is not a new one I require. Before His Highness disappeared, did you not accept a contract to build him a custom carriage? Without a formal owner, I reasoned that it must now lie unused. I was hoping I might borrow it a short while.
But, pish and tosh, woman. She is for royal use and naught else.
Pish and tosh, woman.
'Tis an unreasonable request, I know. But I'd not be asking without a grave need. Might I at least see it?
I mean, well,
'Twas specially made for His Highness, yes? Not a work you'd have sold off. Where lies it now?
I've deadlines to meet, dash it. Off with you now. Leave me be.
You've been acting stranger than usual.
Jade.
What ails
Zelda
you?
is a very, like, hesitant girl, but then she gets comfortable. She's very, very, very friendly.
Whoa!
Good God. Is this a gauntlet runner? The very craft commissioned for His Highness the Prince? Even knowing His Highness was gone, still you toiled away. Oh, Nioras, you are an inspiration. Such nobility of purpose.
Yes. Right.
However, for a craft meant for the royal family, it is rather excessive, isn't it? Did you really build this vehicle exactly to their orders? You cannot mean...
Well, at first, certainly. I followed the blueprints exactly. But then His Highness died, and... well, I couldn't just let the old girl waste away. A masterpiece like her? Collecting dust in storage? No! Unacceptable! Unthinkable!
Unthinkable!
I'm working toward a dream. And this poor old girl is going to help me see it through.
You imbecile! A lowly, brazen court engineer butchering His Highness's inheritance for a hobby! For this mania! You embezzled the royal treasury and disrespected his legacy! Treason!
Mercy, please! Look, take my head if you must, milady. But leave the value runner alone.
Look, this runner... Tis fully operational now, is it? Then I suggest you cooperate, for both our sakes. Finish your tinkering by tomorrow and bring it to the Grand Cathedral as soon as you can.
Eh? What's all this now? You play the proud soldier at me and then pluck it for your own schemes?
'Tis no scheme. I would use it for His Highness's sake.
For His Highness, eh? Hold a pick? Haven't you been looking for him? Wandering across God knows where, last I heard. So if you're back now and now you want a gauntlet runner for His Highness? Is His Highness still alive? That's it! I've got you, haven't I?
'Twas His Highness who gave you refuge while you were only a heretical scholar condemned by the Sanctists. The time has come to repay His mercy.
Understood.
Is that enough? Can this old duck really handle an undercover operation?
I don't know how you can call anything with this thing undercover.
I know what you're thinking, but 'tis at least true that he feels an undying debt of gratitude to the royal family.
Pish and tosh, boy. A little faith. Not to brag, but this old duck's craft might be the fastest gauntlet runner in the kingdom. Why, probably the world. I think. Maybe.
How encouraging.
All I want is to push this runner as far and as fast as she can go. Show her off to the world. And you? Well, I presume you'd rather work together than have to walk, eh?
I don't know about this, but I guess we'll just have to trust him. What do you think?
I think we can count on him.
If you're sure, I suppose. We'll deal with it if we have to.
Either way, he knows the prince is alive, so we can't just leave him to his own devices. We're all in the same boat. Or runner, I guess.
Zelda.
You lot can handle the fighting, and I'll handle all the driving and greasework. Just make sure you've got a proper plan for all this mess now.
This guy's got no filter. But he has a point. We do need to talk strategy.
So, summing up. Our first trial is to slay a monster. We take its head as proof, then get it to the goal line before the deadline. The bigger the head, the better. Our destination is Port Brilehaven, the capital of the Western Principality of Oceania. It'd be a trek on foot, but this gauntlet runner should make it a snap.
So getting the bounty's head is our next move. And our target is a nefarious criminal who's been kidnapping and selling off children. Right?
A criminal? Did the task not specify a monster's head?
Don't worry, all part of the plan. We don't need to win this thing, we just need to get Luis's attention. Everyone's going to show up with monster heads, and we shake things up with a felon. A knight-turned-kidnapper at that. Shows them we're there for justice.
But to deliberately violate the rules, we risk being disqualified entirely. Then again, 'tis just as likely to win the people's attention and thereby Luis's. I do understand the intent. What do you think of this plan?
I think it's a perfect idea.
Makes sense, doesn't it? The bounty's Heismay, an ex-knight. I realize that's a little close to home, Hulkenberg, so if you'd rather hang back...
No. His title is precisely why I cannot let his atrocities stand. And yet, 'tis strange indeed that we are hunting a mere man when the trial demands a monster. Then again, our true aim is beyond the ambitions of any other aspirant. Our fate rests in this plan of yours, Stroll.
Thank you. I'll try to ensure your trust isn't misplaced.
Righto. Then our course is set. Feel free to use anything in the gauntlet runner. Even got a bathing room if you could use a wash.
Good to know. We can always look around more thoroughly later.
Yes. You needn't tire yourself out before we arrive.
In the runner.
Well, I'm a tinkerer and not much else. All my fighting happens in the old workshop. But I'll take you wherever you're going for your sake and mine. After all, the wilds out there are no berry picnic. Oh no. It's a den of wild beasts and savage scoundrels.
I love this
And
guy.
I'll not get past it without days on the road together. So, if you need anything besides a steady hand on the wheel, give me a hoot. Bound to find me in the cockpit or the engine room.
He's certainly
think
an
I have either.
eccentric, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. We'll get used to him, I suppose.
We're not in the air though. We're just running fast on the ground. It's like pooping on a train. The Gauntlet Runner has various areas for different activities such as strategy room, the lounge, and the kitchen. You could also visit Academia by finding more and interacting with them. Let's go. Let's visit the engine room first. Take your time and have a look around on your way there.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I've peed on planes a lot, but I've never been in a Gauntlet Runner. Kind of want to see what the engine room's like.
All right then.
Pantry.
Oh. All right then.
Yeah.
What's this?
Where's the engine room?
All right then.
Mile High Club. I do not know how you get away with screwing on an airplane.
All right then.
Let's see here.
I wonder where we're at right now. Where the fuck is the engine room? It's gotta be down here. There you go. A washing machine?
Now, where was I?
It's conceivable.
The previous king must have had a strong desire behind invoking such powerful magic. The mysterious language and the name at the end surely have some significance. Still, I cannot help but feel that I've forgotten something important pertaining to the
Adieu.
script.
It's conceivable. Adieu. Welcome. I see. Fascinating. This right here. All right?
I'm counting on you.
Of course.
Really. New skills, new possibilities. Watch this.
You're coming.
I mean, that is... It's how they do their games, man.
This?
Wonder what makes this thing run.
Hello?
First time on a gauntlet run, eh? Oh, that scared me. Looks like the pipe's in here too. Called a runaphone. There's one in every room. Now, I believe I heard you speculating on the old girls and their workings. Gauntlet runners use baglet crystals as fuel to run, you see. Used to be you'd take your life in your hands when you travel the wilds. Then, thanks to the kingdom's great designs, the Gauntlet Runner was born. The runner's extra legs are based on a colossal beast made for zero momentum loss, even on the roughest terrain. Among other things, I've modified this craft with a bit more zip and speed, another step closer to my dream. What dream? Long story, my girl. Best told to a captive audience with no plans for the next few days and nights. Oh, never mind then. Maybe some other time. Anyway, still plenty about the old girl that's a work in progress, but by the time I'm done, she'll have some new tricks. You just watch. It'll be sunset before long, so start thinking about bedding down it for the night. Can't run in the dark, and the old girl needs her rest as much as we do. You'll continue towards your destination while spending time in the Gauntlet Runner. Utilize its facilities to obtain items to raise abilities or do other things you won't be able to do in town. Try using the kitchen, reading books with a bookshelf, or using the washing machine. More activities will become available over time. You can also spend time with your allies while traveling, which may help to improve your virtues. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. Very cool.
This? Understood.
Now then.
You've got to keep the water at a consistent temperature to avoid staining the clothes. Why am I master of laundry, you ask? Because my parents practically beat it into me. Any noble who can't wash his own clothes isn't worth the fabric he wears, or something to that effect. I had to learn all about different materials. In hindsight, I think they were trying to teach me not to take advantage of my title. Wisdom that still serves me to this day.
Nonetheless.
The more time that passes, the more I understand how great my parents were. Nanny, you're wonderful. My max MP increased by 3.
Huh?
Oh, well, it's not mine, I don't think. Why don't you just hold on to it? How much money is it? 2,500? Damn. After drying everything thoroughly, we finished laundry.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at the desert camp as the scorching sun sinks below the horizon, and the curtain of night falls over the land. Protected within the stalwart hull of the Gauntlet Runner, the party gains a short, peaceful respite.
It was, yeah. At night, the vast wilderness outside town is ensconced in darkness. Forcing your way through the unmarked territory is very dangerous, even with a stalwart Gauntlet Runner. Instead, establish camp somewhere safe. You can resume your travels the next morning. While at an encampment, you can use any of the facilities on the Gauntlet Runner like usual, but you can also reminisce about the journey with your allies. Give it a try. 3 days until we reach Martyria. Our first time camping in the Gauntlet Runner. I'm kind of excited, but it'll be a long night, so why not spend some time relaxing with someone? There are insects gathering by the campfire. Yep. Oh, apparently you could eat these bugs. Well, according to Hulkenberg, anyway. I should try and catch one. I caught one of the bugs gathered by the campfire. When it's my turn to cook, I should use it as an ingredient. Let's be friends with Stroll.
Hey.
Hey, you looking for something to do? My weapons are as sharp as they're going to get, and I'm not up to much. Care to keep me company for a while? By recalling the past and planning for the future with Stroll, maybe I can hone my imagination. Should I spend my time talking with Stroll? Talk with Stroll.
Now then.
So next up is Martyria. It feels like just yesterday when I first arrived in the royal capital. So much has happened in such a short span of time. I met you, you went to the northern fortress and awakened a mysterious power. I'd once thought magic like this only existed in heroic tales of times long past.
Speaking of
which, I've been thinking that perhaps this is the same power that Hero King once used. If that's the case, then why do you think so many of them met miserable ends? Powers and everything.
What's that about?
Oh, I see.
I see. As kings, they had to govern their people and maintain the peace. Martial might alone wouldn't help you there. Perhaps it's not a matter of how much power you have, but how you choose to wield it. Moreover, we've got more than one power at our disposal, and on top of that, we've got allies who share these abilities as well. If we continue to master these archetypes, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to surpass the great hero kings of old. Though all this does make me wonder just how many more of these powers are still out there. I felt my imagination grow as Stroll and I discuss the challenges still ahead of us.
All right.
Come on, come now. It's too early for bed. Let's talk some more.
Time marches on, and the age
I don't know
of
why I
the
made
new
money for
king
that, but I'm not
draws
complaining.
nearer.
You don't get my imagination up, man.
Good morning.
Top the morning to you, my dear passengers. I trust that the sleeping quarters more than exceeded your expectations, eh?
True.
They were better than I feared, considering how tiny they are. But I've got a question of my own. Isn't the desert sand going to do a number on this runner? He is like chaotic good, yeah. My boy, remember who maintains this rugged girl. Naria, a grain of sand couldn't fit between her seams, I assure you. Regardless, we'll be leaving these arid dunes behind tomorrow.
I knew it!
Wow, runners really are neat, aren't they? A carriage would never be able to get through this desert this fast. But, just keep an eye on the road, okay, nearest? We'll arrive in Martyria in 2 days, huh?
Well met.
Okay, Dave, you come at the perfect moment. I was just thinking I'd ponder some battle strategies over my game board. An abstract game of military tactics, CC. Care to indulge me in a round? Yeah, sure.
All right.
Then let us begin. I shall give and expect no quarter, shall we?
If so,
That's how you plan to make your advance then. I can't make any more moves. That's the match. My, I learned quite a bit from that match. I believe we would both benefit from continued practice. This game affords me the opportunity to visualize strategies all on my own. What if an enemy came at me from such an angle? How would I retaliate? And so on and so forth.
I'd say
I once failed in my duty to protect His Highness the Prince. At the time, I was a bit of a novice, a new addition to the Royal Guard. I lacked the experience needed to properly assume the role.
that's why.
'Tis for that reason that I now train both my body and mind so thoroughly, as I vowed to never let such a thing occur once again.
Right.
Your dedication is impressive.
No.
Perhaps, but 'twould be more accurate to say that I'm trying to attain perfection rather than implying I have already achieved it. And that's on the airship. It's like it has legs, Nana. It's running. That said, 'tis quite the pleasure to speak so freely with you. I find comfort in knowing that I may share my feelings with a compatriot. If we find success in this endeavor and create a country where all can truly live equally, I hope to serve as a knight captain, passing down the knowledge I can to a new generation. I will speak not of the tactics, but of all my experiences on this journey, my victories and, of course, my failures too. In doing so, I would see the Royal Guards elevated to new heights. I hope. That's a great plan. That's a great plan. I'm on board.
Yes.
Well, should such a starry-eyed wish come true, I shall tell them much of you, our captain. Such a position is certainly not one most can adapt to, much less succeed in, given the circumstances of our fight. And I must say, you wear the role well. 'Tis hard to believe it's your first foray into such responsibility. Perhaps you're a natural talent for it. Well, 5 Klinger. Though to call it talent is a disservice. No, whatever higher calling you have, I can only be as I am now because of you. Such praise from a knight is quite an honor.
True.
'Twas you and Gallica that set the cogs of this journey in motion. I think there's some significance to you being the captain, in my humble opinion. You have my gratitude. After crossing proverbial swords with you, I feel that I am one step closer to realizing my dream.
All right.
My wisdom's already 2. We need eloquence and courage.
All right.
Now then, we shall continue our discussion on tactics. There were some blunders you can avoid next time. For example, when a piece moves here, you should... That's awesome, Jade. You should listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl, Jade, because it's amazing.
We could stop for a break.
Oh, at break time, chums. There's something up ahead, so we'll be stopping there.
Coming now into view is the Tree of Prophecy, a resplendent tapestry of color against the backdrop of the bleak desert, as though themselves snared by the bewitching magla surrounding the tree. The Gauntlet Runner comes to a stop at its base.
Here we are. Shall we get a closer look? Reminds me of the tree from Black Panther.
Wow.
Oh wow, it's so pretty.
That's...
It's not just the leaves. It's as though the whole area has been painted red.
Certainly.
This place calls to mind a picture book I read as a child. It told of a great tree located somewhere within the country whose colors shifted to foretell unusual events in times ahead. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is your mom Jewish, Jade? How exactly would a tree foretell the future? And how does a plant grow this huge in the middle of a desert? I'm not sure if this explains it, but I am sensing an incredible amount of magla in the air here. If your hypothesis is correct, that would make this no mere tree, no sir, but a magical organism that feeds off of magla. As a matter of scientific research, I must document this discovery. Nereus pulled a sheet of paper and a brush from his pocket and began to draw the landscape in front of him.
Hey.
Wow, Nereus, how did you get so good at drawing?
Yeah.
My boy, meticulous documentation and the foundation of all good research. There you have it. I'm finished here. Take it as a keepsake. Wasn't it for research?
Man.
I thought you needed this for research. All the pertinent information I need has been etched in my very mind. I can make do without the sketch itself. I received Nurse's research picture. The drawing is intricately detailed and could accurately convey the full majesty of this place to a viewer who has never been here.
Hey there!
I don't even know what the fuck that is, Jade. Hey! Why don't we give that to Maria? I bet she'd love to see something from our journey, and we could tell her a story about this place. Next time our grandchild, should give the drawing to Maria. Maria? Huh, magical organism in the form of a tree. Say, aren't fairies in the same classification? Precisely! Galka is the most precious treasure as well. I've been observing her very closely, which is giving me great insight into my own research into flight.
Huh?
What? You've been observing me this whole time? I don't recall you asking, so knock it off!
However,
turning her attention to the tree, I've heard that it tints itself blue to herald the arrival of favorable developments. I wonder what manner of anomaly its current color portends. We take a brief detour, but I feel that seeing that rare sight has broadened my wisdom.
All right.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives in a quiet clearing, concealed by boulders. As darkness reclaims the wilderness for itself, monsters run rampant in the wilds. To sleep here would be perilous, unless from within the
not doing
safety
things
of
at
a
work
Gauntlet
on Saturday
runner.
is a
The
Jewish
party,
thing.
secure in their
And I guess,
Gauntlet
you know,
runner,
the Old Testament is
spends
the
night
same,
in
but
peace, hidden from hungry gazes.
Jake, go take your mom to see Heretic. All the Jesus you need, Pug? Yep. We'll be in Martyria the day after tomorrow. I wonder what kind of place Martyria is. Yes, Socrates, and I was very, very confused.
well met.
Ah, well met. I don't suppose you're as overburdened with free time as I am. I'm certainly no stranger to traveling, but I have no idea how to spend idle hours. If the idea appeals, might we talk a bit?
Be well.
I want to see if I could get some other, like... What's in there?
This? Understood.
Did I just decide to do laundry again? Anyway,
No,
we
man.
do that.
Huh?
Time marches on.
I like doing
and the
laundry.
age of a new
I don't like
king
folding
draws
laundry. I
near.
like washing laundry. Dude, they include this shit in their games, and it always makes me laugh. Probably wrap up in half an hour. I'm getting a little tired. I'm still probably, my body's still drained.
The desert! Oh wow, I missed all this green.
Wouldn't she be like
Was it so
flying
bumpy?
backwards?
That'd be the change in terrain, lad. See, got to let the suspensions get used to hard ground instead of soft sand.
Must be nice to fly everywhere.
What the? Did we just crash?
Of course not. That's,
A cannonade.
I mean, you telling me everything you've told me, I realized it was called already, Jade. The fuck?
My star is rising! Ah!
Sanctism will reign! Ah!
It's them. Remember, from the opening ceremony, I think one of them is Guido, Forden's confidant, and the other is Luis's man, Gladel.
Prominent candidates. Shouldn't the king's magic petrify them for their aggression?
No, see where they're aiming. They're not shooting to kill, just to take out the opposing runner's legs.
Doesn't seem like you're trying to land a fatal shot, just aiming to break the opposing side's gauntlet runner.
stuck out in the wilds with no working runner. Whether they survive or not, they're dashed well out of the race.
So 'tis a clash to hold each other's advance. Damned fools couldn't resist a show of force.
Look! Over by the legs.
I see. Acting as witness to the higher candidate's conflict. It seems Gladel cannot match Guido's firepower.
Our plan hinges on winning Luis's favor. Can we afford to abandon Gladel if he's one of Luis's supporters?
What's our plan? If we just hang back and watch, Godot's gonna win. And Forden gets a leg up on the competition.
Let's help out Gladel.
Let's give Gladel a hand here.
Good thinking. That way we could win Luis's regards.
Agreed. Let us ride to Gladel's aid.
I say, hold on. You realize you're a no-name candidate, eh? If he wants to shut you out, he'll not have to aim for just our legs.
It's a runner, isn't it? If things get too dicey, we'll just run. Didn't you say we had the fastest craft around?
Fine. Suppose there's no room for caution if we want the world's eyes on us.
Okay, then it's settled. Let's make sure he owes us big.
There should be an external runner phone out there.
We're here to help! Withdraw, Gladel! Who goes there? Why do you stand for Luis's forces? Well, sorry, can't get into it now. That gauntlet runner. You're that commoner candidate who destroyed the Grand Cathedral! Was that not enough? You would profane the sacred a second time! So be it. In God's name, be thou punished! You dare interfere
I
in
can
my
totally
fight.
see you doing those acronyms.
Know your place. Is it fame you seek? You thought by confronting me, you might lift your own names. Then you chose the wrong opponent.
I hate to interrupt, old egg, but it's a touch more complex than that.
We of the Crown Theocracy's monk
I
army
love that dude.
have silenced all who would oppose the eminence of God. Your petty ruses are beneath me. Now you shall know how powerless you truly are.
Remember, the king's magic means we cannot move to strike Godot himself.
Go for his followers first. We'll thin their numbers and turn the tide.
Go, my brethren! Put the fear of God into these impious commoners!
Don't forget about the petrification
Moving to the
magic!
rear. I shall vanquish evil. The power of light!
I'll get some distance. Bird!
Observe to the rear, charging in! I see you!
Got them right in their
Now,
weak
what's the
spot.
play?
Insolent heathens! What could you hope to achieve?
Is that all?
That means they can't attack me either, right?
I won't lose.
He knows we can't attack him. He's toying with us.
Why didn't you do that? Fuck.
I'm stepping back into the fray. Come! I stand waiting.
The power of life, I call upon royal power within! Yeah!
Witness the power of Sanctism.
What Mickey, what's up, buddy?
Only a flesh wound.
Only a flash wound.
Don't underestimate me!
I won't hold back! Freeze!
Is everyone all right? With blade in hand! Is that all?
The power of life, Are you well?
Thanks.
Trust needed.
More resilient than I expected. I would lose nothing by conceding this fight. But the faithful are watching.
I don't know that one, Nana. The Fujiwara effect?
For the sake
It sounds
of my
familiar,
dear
but...
brethren, I must hold nothing back.
Oh, okay.
Now, feel the righteous truth of Sanctism
Well,
and
at least you got the
crave
puppy
upon
there.
your flesh.
Does this mean he's getting serious?
Rise, my brother. Sanctism will reign!
Nothing.
Here they come.
Let's go!
Roar!
By the sworn oath of knighthood, let justice prevail!
I can't afford to hold. No holding back!
I knew you'd help.
I'm obliged.
Sanctism is supreme!
Sanctism will
Only
reign!
a flesh wound.
Take this!
Pokember's badly
not
wounded.
yet.
Jesus Christ,
Sanctism
dude.
will reign!
Pokember's down. Get her back up.
This'll do.
My spirit is
You disgrace the
unbroken.
I've been
Sanctus way.
sick all week, my dude, but I'm doing okay.
There!
I shall seize my chance.